let's get it. I'm trying to put money in your pocket, that crypto wallet, that bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market's sideways, I'm looking for ways to get paid. I'm checking my coins around breakfast, then again around bedtime. Bet this, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right. 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 I'm always right.
Whoa, another shot of the bullet. Loaded, got complex, cocking and pulling. That bottleneck look like the Loch Ness. What are we doing? I'm about to fall out, boy, and the proof's in the pudding. So, can we forget about the things I said when I was strong? I ain't mean to call you that. I'm ice cold like the keg the bartender tap. On another level like I'm fuck around with ASAP. Bird, so what's the word? What's the deal? Don't be asking how I'm doing unless you wanna keep it real. Cause I'm all up in my feels. Jesus, take the wheel. This liquor got me more set than Jagged Little Pills.
I can't wait till Friday. Everybody's getting sideways. Pass the bottle back my way. Everybody's getting sideways.
What is going on, everybody? I hope you're having a good morning. My name is Bleeves. This is Breakfast with Bleeves, and we're kicking it off with what is alleged to be a gigantic hack that took place in the Volt Inu verse. And what we know so far is, and what we were told in Voltoshi ran through the transactions and then seems to have confirmed it. Some of you probably know one of our top 25 whale got hacked through a phone call overnight. 571 billion Volt were stolen and sold on the chart. Please be safe and make sure you are using a cold wallet as soon as possible. This is the only way to hold cryptos. Now, if that is the case and if that broke down the way that it did, and then the question, of course, is going to be, what was in the phone call? I don't see a way yet for a phone call to cause a hack. However, what I did see was that the call came from Telegram, and that's what we know so far. And I don't know the specifics of any mechanism that could have allowed for that to happen, other than he freely gave information to them so that they could access it. Perhaps the call came from somebody identifying themselves as MetaMask, Coinbase, something like that. So at this point, I'm just going to be speculating on the exact mechanism by which it happened. But we do know that it did happen, and 571 billion tokens were sold off of the chart, and pretty decent job, I want to say, of buying back. Trading at 12.18 right now. You can see right here, this was the cascade. By the way, when that happened, I started seeing reports in chat, by the way, not any official report, but in chat, I was seeing people saying that this was, then it went to Pepe, that they were following the transactions as they were selling off, and that the funds were going into Pepe. And here's the wallet right here. 4DE3 is how it ends, and you can see that there's a lot of transactions that are going on inside that wallet. However, that would seem 1 hour and 29 minutes. It would seem a little bit weird that if that were the case, why is the wallet still active? And who's doing what with the wallet? So if I were hacked and the money was still in the wallet, that would be kind of strange, right? So I'm not sure how this is I'm not sure how this is playing out and why this is playing out. Maybe the person got access to the wallet before. Again, it's rampant speculation on my behalf, but yeah, I mean, there's a whole bunch of transactions here, and then maybe it was just moved to a different wallet. These are all transfers, by the way, so maybe they're just draining the wallet into this wallet, and then yeah, so then this wallet has 147. Maybe it's just being transferred around, but that's not my realm. So interesting, right? And here you go. This is a decent answer right here. That user gave up something. Even a SIM clone wouldn't allow access to a software wallet without the keys or a wallet approval in DeFi apps. I mean, I have to use a thumbprint every time I open up a wallet, or I have to put in a passcode. I have to do something in order to grant access to it. So it would seem a little bit odd. The only time that I've ever seen something happen is a legitimate virus installed on a computer that drains specifically a MetaMask wallet. So we don't know what wallet, by the way. I heard Coinbase, but I don't know that I don't know that to be the case. And if it is, then it does require passwords, passcodes. So I'm not sure exactly what happened. I'm sure we'll get some clarity at some point. And if we don't get clarity, then obviously there's going to be some questions about this guy and what's going on. Now I know that there is a fundraiser or something like that the team is trying to put together for the person, but I do feel like most investors are going to need to have some of these questions answered and not just blindly do it before they're going to help out and do anything. So we'll see how this plays out. But the guy's name was Volted Dragon and had been a holder. Now, apparently, to be clear here, he does have a few more wallets, and it was just one specific wallet. So the other thing is, I did read the other day that some wallets were being attacked and hacked by MetaMask, and MetaMask was saying that that it was not, like what we think it is. So it's entirely possible that something is going on there. So I'm in a wait and see mode to see what exactly happened in this entire regard. So I don't know yet. I know what I've been told. I know what they've said. I just don't. And I think Lando is probably the most realistic here. Is the guy just got taken, and he's trying to make it seem like he didn't get taken as much as he did. And in fact, we don't know exactly how this played out. So we'll find out over the next couple of days. If you're interested in this, I'm sure Pablo is going to be following it along. The part that I'm worried about is how the price action affects the chart, because that's what you guys want to know, is how it's going to affect the chart, right? Well, you just had a hack and you had a dump, and that never ends very well. Now, going back to what happened all the way back here when it all started, we roll back the chart to trading in the 1400s. Then everything starts to get this little sell-off. Here we go. This is when it starts to get crazy. So we're trading around 1400. Then we see this sell-off start to happen. Now, when the sell-off starts to happen, obviously, other people are going to get concerned. What happens when the other people start getting concerned? As you move down here, you start to see, well, other people, of course, are saying, I don't know what's going on right here, but I want to protect my capital. So then you start to see a few more people selling their way out of the situation as well, as this person is completely selling off and emptying, right? So that leads to quite a few different people just making small buys or selling. Then you start to see a reversal after all of this sell-off. So we've kind of reached bottom here. We've seen that it's stopped. then we see people start talking about, it's like, oh, well, I mean, I guess it's an opportunity to buy the dip. And it was a great opportunity to buy the dip, right? And generally speaking, a strong token will have people that one day will sell off. So the guy sells off $500,000 and it's left to the space to buy it back, or the chart goes down, right? So that's when people start saying, hey, here's time. This is time for the rally. It's time to make sure that the rally starts to happen, right? So then you see somebody step in and buy 20 ETH worth, and then the rally's on. Now there's a little bit more sell-off as people are still nervous, and you're seeing, small amounts being taken out. Then you see somebody else buy in a little bit more, saying, you know what, this is an opportunity, and they're taking advantage of this opportunity. I mean, nothing's changed fundamentally about Volt. Everybody who's happy and pleased with Volt are still happy and pleased with Volt. We just had one guy sell off $500,000. Then you're still seeing the cascade because people are like, oh, I don't know what's going on, but I don't want it to happen to me, et cetera, et cetera. So you're seeing the move, then you see the moves continue, and then you start seeing buys, and you start seeing fresh wallet buys coming through. And then the price is starting to pump up. Now we're back over 9. Then you keep scrolling through and you keep seeing it's just a green wall at this point of buy, smaller buys coming in, bigger buys starting to trickle in as well in order to kind of shore up the price here. Pablo's going live at this point. Now we're talking about now we're talking about this pump happening. So everything's starting to reverse. We see another fresh wallet, and then another fresh wallet comes in, 25 ETH purchase. And then as the night progresses, you continue to see this, and you see a lot of different fresh wallet, brand new holders making these buys along the way. So, so I think that I think that some people stepped in, created some new wallets, and basically held the floor. That would be my estimation of what happened right here. Then you start to see this right here. D6E3 is buying in big. I don't know who D6E3 is. I assume it's one of the bigger whales, probably just buying in a little bit more, helping to protect the floor. Again, you can see the sell-off because, of course, what happens when this goes on and you're in profit and you start to see something like this happen, you see a sell-off, then you think that a reversal, and if you're nervous, you think a reversal is coming. So as this is pumping back up, we're starting to see a little more cascade of sell-off because people are doing what people do. They're like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm gonna sell. So then you see a bit of selling as that continues, and a little bit more of the buying, and you're seeing people who bought before continuing to buy, et cetera, et cetera. That leads us to now. So that's what's going on. We had a rally back up to about 1,300. Then we had this cascade down here. So now it's a little bit early, but now we have to establish where that new floor is for the moment until such time as we have a movement. And you can see right here that it actually corresponds to a lot of settling in this 1,200 range. So for the moment, we're going to call it 1,200 as the new sort of range right there. So the question now becomes, how does this play out? So the likely, the best possible play out would be another pump back up to 1,400 in short order, followed by a breakdown into the 1,200s to test it for support. That would convince investors that it is holding in that position. Now, it is holding, by the way, over here on a few of the hourly candles, but you need a couple of 4 hours to confirm that it's holding support at 1,200. Then it needs to move up and it needs to test the next level. And if it does that, then we're good to go, and the buyback will be complete in that regard from the investors. And then and then in the big thing, I think the important part, or the most important part to at least consider here, is that in the overall scheme of things, this is the overall chart here. Still $23 million in trading volume. Now, when you come down here, you can see on the volume over here, Uniswap, $1.281 million in volume. This is a great opportunity, by the way, for tax collection, in fact. So just so people understand, it is a great opportunity for tax collection because this allows 13% tax in or out. Any kind of trading that's happening right here is a great opportunity to create a very rapid fund right here. I don't know how Votoshi is going to do it, but it's usually interesting what he does when these situations were to come up. Now, I don't think we've seen one like this one, but we have seen it in different contexts. And with this much capital now available, I would imagine that we would probably see some kind of huge buyback and burn or something like that in order to help to regulate and keep the price at least relatively stable. But they did, of course, cause a sell-off on most of the open market. So if you're wondering where the price is in your wallet, it is down, but Bitcoin prices suffered. Ethereum prices down almost to 1900, so it's down a couple $100. So this happened at a very inopportune time in the market, but the recovery is already underway. So I think that in the long term, no worries. Everything's going to end up being fine. Here's the if you have one issue, the one issue, in fairness here, the one issue that you have is, God damn it would have been nice to have that buy and to be able to buy down at 9,000. I had 2 attempts that I was trying to buy more Volt down here at this 8 level, but the price was spiking so fast and I wasn't going over 15% slippage. But the price was spiking so fast that every time I tried to do a transaction, it failed. So after a couple of transactions, I was like, you know what? It's not meant to be here. And then by that time, it was already up over 9. And I was, it was just moving a little bit too fast for me to get that buy at the bottom. But that would have been a perfect opportunity for an accumulation. Why not buy 10,000 more when you're at the bottom? But when it gets to 9, and when it gets, I think it was by the time I was able to miss a couple of transactions, it was already at 92 from almost 8,000. And I'm like, you know what? I've already missed 1,000 points. That's going to be $1,000 that it doesn't make any sense at that point. It was an opportunity, and I just had the wrong slippage in it. So, but let's get on to the broader market, and let's check everything out. So the implied opens in the market are in the green, except NASDAQ is down just a little bit. What I think is happening over here is we must be getting some more. Here we go. So FCX is crushing, HCA Holdings crushing, Procter & Gamble crushing, Schlumberg in line up a little bit. Auto Live misses off 2.5 billion. And actually, no, it hit this. See, this is, I really hate the earnings whispers sometimes. 0.90 on 0.87 and 2.5 on 2.3. So it did just fine. Regions Financial, that's a miss. I would call that one a miss. SAP beats, PPG beats, Plus Therapeutics, CSX beats. Of course they did. Transportation is crushing. Steel Dynamics beats. So, generally speaking, the market is having another decent day because of course it is. Now on Friday, what do we have here? I don't think we have another big one until Tuesday. That's going to affect the broader markets. Procter & Gamble, SAP. So we've already got the reportings here. So we're done for the day. Monday, we've got Coca-Cola, which that does affect the market a little bit, but generally speaking, Coca-Cola does fine. Like, we don't see a whole lot of problems out of Coca-Cola. Tuesday is when we get Microsoft, Google, Visa, Pepsi, and McDonald's, and each one of those, except PepsiCo, but yeah, Microsoft, Google, Visa, and McDonald's seem to move the broader crypto market. So could be a nice recovery that we see building up to that moment. Now, we do have $1 billion in expiries about to happen on Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now, the last time we did this was on a Friday, much like today, and the end result was nothing really. It was a much ado about nothing. So let's see how it goes. Altcoin season has been postponed inevitably because y'all cheated into it. You got too much. You got too excited. You put too much money into it. And what was the end result? The end result was people said, "Yeah, fuck that," and they wrecked so many longs. Matter of fact, 100 million more in longs got wrecked yesterday. Now, what that does mean is that you're getting protection levels. So this is what the chart looks like on Bitcoin. And we're having bounces off of levels, but the downward movement has already happened. Now, again, we're seeing a bounce here from 27, basically 27's 27.8 is like, this is kind of the spot right here where it's no bueno. We don't want to see anything dip down below this spot. And I did clear up my chart, by the way. I got rid of almost everything on here. And I just put down 27.7 right now. That is the line of support, because I don't think anything else matters at this point. The one thing that matters on these charts is 27.7, because we already broke 28.6. And we've confirmed a 28.6 breakdown. So I think that now we're just going to see, how far does it go? That's going to be the question right now. So we're going to put down a line here, 28,600. And we'll make that one the green line, and then we'll turn this one into a red line for the purpose of what we're talking about right here. So this should be our bounce area, and that should be an opportunity for a recovery, at least back up to 28.6. So if you're going, if you're setting a long, then your indication here would be from 27.8 up to 28.6 would be the next play. Now, if you're still believing that it's going to break down, and that is a possibility because these expiries are coming due today, if you're betting on the bear trend to continue, then it would be fair enough to consider that what you're most probably going to see is something along the lines of the breakdown that we had just previously. Now, just to give you an idea of how this broke down, and we're going to use the top over here for the breakdown. And it was right here, and it came to right over here. So we're going to do this, and we're going to put this up here at the top, and you'll see that it really kind of matches, by the way, overall. But where does it break down? It breaks down into the 24 area right here, which actually makes sense, because if you look across this area, you've got the support line, you've got the resistance all right there. So it is entirely possible that we're looking at a bounce off of 24. Remember, we did bounce down here off of 19 before we went on this big ass run. Now, that would make sense as the next big move. So the other thing to consider is that this move has been slightly muted. Let's get rid of that and that. All right, so this move right here has been slightly muted compared to this downward trend right here. So it is possible that we get picked up on our major support line, and that major support line right there is going to be 25,000 to it looks like about 25,250. Let's call it 25,250. So if there is a breakdown, then the breakdown is to the tops over here. There's been a lot of support right there. So that's going to be the next level on any kind of breakdown. Now you can see right here that there is some interest in buying at 26.7, roughly 26.6, 26.7. So there will be a couple of breakdowns here if we continue to go down. Now, I don't see any reason to consider that we're going to return back up until we've cleared out. And, I think it was just not time for that season so far. And I think that there's a lot of profit taking right now. And there's a lot of people saying, you know what, this can go lower. So they're hedging in their situations. But here's one bright spot. Let me point this out. If you watched my top altcoins of April, you're seeing it happen right now. Zilliqa is having a moment. It's up 10% on a day that's just signed in blood. If you remember here, I said over here at the end of April that at 25 cents that this was going to have a nice run. So if that were the case, then you're up almost 50% if you're playing this right. And it's there's about 3 more days before the EVM is released. So Zilliqa is going to continue running. And if you got in at the beginning of the month, then you're feeling pretty good about your position despite what's going on in the market. Now, the other ones that I said were going to be RLC, which we're going to get some update on their update. Version 8 is coming out very soon. You can see that the excitement here and buildup was starting right over here, came along with the market. So there didn't seem to be any enthusiasm for the V8 that was happening. So when we get an announcement, because it seems like it might be getting delayed, when we get an announcement, I'm going to expect immediate reversal, and we're going to be testing this $2.20 again. So it's just a matter of time at this point. And then I did think that Judge Torres was going to have something on XRP. And as you can see right here, everybody was expecting something on XRP. And Judge Torres now moved up the ruling, the final ruling, but we're still not at the spot where they're going to make any kind of substantive decision at this point right now. So we keep saying there could be a ruling any day, but it looks like they're trying to give final arguments. They're taking their time. So I don't think that we see anything significant coming out of XRP in the near term. The other thing, Mark Kelly, thank you for the $20 bomb, man. I certainly appreciate you. Richie's Plain Talk, have you ever checked out Medicaid? You calling me old? Ew. No, I as a matter of fact, I haven't. I feel like it sounds familiar, but I'm not sure exactly how familiar that would be. And Richie's Plain Talk, 5 more subscriptions. So welcome aboard, Mike the Medina Mindset, Julio Sosa, Salim Alatis, Super Driver MIA, DVST8M, and those were the people. Oh, I got that right the first time. Thank you, man. I certainly appreciate that. And everybody who helps and everybody who contributes, I appreciate each and every one of you so much. But anyway, so yeah, I really kind of think that XRP, even though it's moving with the market right now and dumping with the market, as a matter of fact, there are a lot of XRP expiries coming due as well. That is mixed up in this whole nonsensical sort of mess right now. Now, I'm not sure which direction the market's going to go other than down at this point. So I want to preface anything with that. Now, with that being the case, we are seeing I think we might have found a bottom over here on Bone. So I do think that Bone is about to have a nice little reversal. Now, I don't know that there's any kind of breakout on tap. I don't know that there's anything positive going on for it, but I do see that there was an appetite for buyback right now and protecting this level right here. Now, generally speaking, this is not this doesn't always play out because the market conditions do matter. If we are at the bottom and we are seeing a positive reversal and we have this sort of massive wicking, this is going to lead to a big time move. You don't see this much defense of a level. You can see right here, there's a lot of wicking right here on the way down. The whole market conditions were coming down. But when you see a wick on a reversal, then you get a big move to follow. So, and again, charts and patterns do tend to play out. So if you're looking at this and you're looking at, let's call this the top over here, and if you're looking at this to play out, then this is what you're looking at, and that would be an incredible sort of rebound up into the $1.29, $1.30 level. Now, if that's the case, if we're playing it out that way, then the move is probably to $1.22 because that looks like right there. Okay, so $1.23 seems to be like the breakout point. So that's where I would expect if there is a reversal in any market conditions, if there's a reversal instead of downward pressure to continue, then Bone could be having a bounce from this point. Now, if the market conditions continue to wane, then I expect that Bone will probably continue dipping down into the 75 or even 65 cent range. We may even see an even further low because we still haven't gotten a listing update. We still haven't gotten anything in terms of some sort of great news about a launch or anything like that's going to drive the price up. So right now we're in defense mode, but there is an appetite for Bone at this point. So we'll see how this plays out. Also, here's what's expiring right now. So Bitcoin and Ethereum nearing $1 billion worth of options expiring. The max pain point is, and by the way, we're at what's considered the max pain bearish point at this level, right? Bitcoin's put call ratio is 0.7, while Ethereum is at 0.83, a value higher than 7, and 1 is considered bearish. Therefore, Bitcoin is currently neutral, while ETH has more traders opting for shorts contracts than longs. However, the figures do not seem to heavily point in any direction. Hence, the market impact of the contract's expirations to be minimal. Now, here is the thing to point out. How do you feel about the market? And that's the question everybody in chat should be asking yourself right now. How do you feel? If you're feeling a little bit bearish because you're feeling a little bit nervous right now and you're thinking, you know what, maybe I should sell right now. Maybe I should just get out. And then you're looking at this news right here, and you're seeing a 0.7 put call ratio and a 0.83 on Ethereum. That means that a lot of people are starting to feel very bearish all of the sudden, right? So 0.7 and 0.83. Now, what does that mean? Well, that means that they're betting on the price to go down. Now, I want to ask you, what do you think happens when you see something like that? What happens when you see something like that is the reverse tends to happen. Because if everybody's betting, and remember, we had this conversation just recently. What happened when everybody was saying it's going to be altcoin season, bruh, and altcoin season is coming? What ended up happening? The reverse happened because everybody bet the farm on that altcoin season, and they were like, we just know it's coming, and they got wrecked. Right? So what's happening right now? Well, now they're saying, oh, the market's going down, baby. Let's go. Let's all get rich. Yeah. And we high-fiving and pamp it and all of that stupid shit that people say. Well, guess what that means? That usually means, or tends to mean, that a reversal back to the upside is coming, because all of these shorts that are sitting out here are going to get liquidated by one big bull. So, this thing, it's not rocket science. This stuff plays itself out almost to type when these situations arrive. So, if you're doing anything, at least consider that before you make a move. And by the way, could I just say that if you had used NordVPN, maybe you wouldn't have gotten hacked. If you just used NordVPN for your security. And by the way, anybody who does that, you get 90 days for free. So I appreciate each and every one of you signed up so far. My ratio is something like 2% now. So I really appreciate the fact that you guys have signed up for NordVPN. It certainly helps me long-term because this is a residual thing where it helps. It helps a lot. And futures trading, MEXC right now, go trade a whole bunch on there. Matter of fact, go trade a whole bunch, put in a bunch of shorts or longs, whatever you want to put in. But just if you go sign up for MEXC, because then they give me play money to trade with, and I certainly love that play money to trade with. So I appreciate everything that each you do to support me and the channel. And Richie with the memberships is so awesome. I appreciate you so much. But back to the news. So while the crypto market was ecstatic when Bitcoin hit 30,000, sentiment has taken a hit as the original cryptocurrency has fallen back to 27,000 levels. Bitcoin currently faces resistance at 28,323 and support at 27,794. Previously tested this resistance level on 10 April. So here we now are, and people are starting to feel a little bit nervous. And when that happens, that's when a whale's going to tend to strike. Now, another Bitcoin whale awakes, transferring 7.8 million after a decade of dormancy. If you had this Bitcoin and it was 10 years ago or 12 years ago, just imagine. It's crazy how much you might have had. Okay, so this guy transferred 279 Bitcoin to 3 fresh addresses today. That does mean he's going to sell on the market, by the way. This person, the wallet in question received 1,128 Bitcoins in October 12 and May of 2013. On-chain analytics account Look On-Chain tweeted the price of Bitcoin during those transfers was approximately $12 and $195 per coin. So this guy is going to make just a gigantic profit off of that. Why not? Latest transfer comes a day after another long dormant Bitcoin whale transferred 2,071 Bitcoin after 9 years of inactivity, and that has been happening a little bit. So maybe you're going to see some of these old guys start to get out. In other news, the deadline for Mt. Gox creditors to provide their repayment information passed. So they're going to distribute an unknown portion of the 142,000 Bitcoin. So get ready for Mt. Gox, because that's going to be a thing too. And is the bull market here? This metric says no. So the Bitcoin exchange reserve ratio has continued to decline recently, as pointed out by analysts in a crypto quant post. Bull markets in the past have started with U.S. exchanges increasing their holdings. The relevant indicator here is that the exchange reserve ratio, which measures the ratio between the exchange reserves of any two exchanges, platforms, or group of them. The exchange reserve here refers to a metric that tells us about the total amount of Bitcoin that's currently sitting in the wallets of a centralized exchange. Now, here's the problem. They're doing this, and they're telling you that this is the case after everybody was instructed to pull the money from centralized exchanges. So this metric, while bearish, I don't think really even applies at this point, because people are being very careful about what's going on in the market. And at this point, they don't want to see what they've seen before, which is the fall of another centralized exchange. If that centralized exchange falls, then you're gone. So, and FTX happening, Voyager Digital, Celsius, all of these different places that have failed, all these centralized exchanges that have gone down in a cloud of dust. They held on to your stuff, and you didn't get your wallet is stuck, and for most of it, you still haven't gotten your money back. So it doesn't make any sense. And what do we tell everybody? Not your keys, not your crypto. And most of us have been spending the last bunch of months telling you that. Not your keys, not your crypto, and get your money off a centralized exchange. Even when Binance was having problems, I was telling you, get your money off Binance. Even if Binance is fine, it doesn't matter. Put only on there what you could afford to risk at any moment. Make your trades, make your plays, and then when you're done, take your money back. Now, if you decide you're going to risk a certain amount, risk the certain amount. Do whatever you got to do, but just be very, very careful, because this kind of stuff does not end well. So, but anyway, so this metric doesn't really feel to me like a genuine metric at this point. It feels like we're probably it feels like these guys, this is one of those things where it's an interesting sort of thing, because it's always been a certain way, but the markets are a little bit different this time around. So, and it could be a testament, by the way, that something negative will happen. I'm not saying that it's not. So, we'll just kind of hold on to that. And Bone is pumping, by the way. Bone is up to 96 cents. Something's going on with the market. Okay, so we're seeing a reversal in price action, and it looks like we're seeing a thirst for, God damn it, every time I say a thirst for Bone, I chuckle to myself like a goddamn child. So Bone is back up to 96.3, up 1.8%. Guys, it was just down a few minutes ago. Arbitrum is on the move. Crow seems to be on the move. MX is on the move. Guys, look at MX. MX, guys, I'm telling you, MEXC, whatever they're doing right for the moment, until the SEC comes calling and acting crazy and shit. MEXC has been having a moment. I mean, look at the price action here from last year all the way up. When we get to December, there was December all the way up here. They're up 200% right now. While the broader market not as close to that. But even in the bearish times, like MEXC just continues to send, and Zilliqua having their moment right now. What else are we looking at? BNB just had a giant spike and a reversal. So there is something going on in the market. So maybe there's a little bit of relief in sight. Now, when we started this conversation, we were down $5 billion in the market, and the market, it looks like, is about to go green, or could potentially go green. We're seeing the start of the Dow Jones. The Dow Jones is at up. I mean, I said it was dead even, so we are in the green to start the day. It's going to flip both ways as the day progresses, but maybe we're looking at a positive sort of reversal. Now, it's very early for that. We need to see a lot of capital start to enter the market. Now, when I say that, even though we're seeing this kind of cascade right now into, we're seeing some of this green happen out here. Even though we're seeing that, remember, this all starts with Bitcoin. Where Bitcoin goes, everyone else follows. And God damn it, I knew that was coming. You can't even talk about you can't even talk about that sweet bone without laughing at yourself. You know what I mean? So everything starts with Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin starts to move, if Bitcoin starts to go positive, then, and we have to have a recovery, by the way. So just understand, everything will move when Bitcoin moves. I'm not saying that it won't, but we're not going to have a pump in anything unless they get an announcement, unless Bitcoin has a reversal and a nice run. Now, hindsight being 2020, we could look back on this moment right now and say, well, you know what? God damn it, I just did that. We bounced off of this 27.9 number right here. We bounced off of this. I should have locked that goddamn thing. Anyway, we might end up saying that, hey, we saw it, we bounced off of this, and then we were off to the races one more time because we're not done yet. And we might even look at this as this is just an extended this right here, and that we're heading to a new high, that we're pumping into a fresh high. And again, my number is 37,393, and I guess I should put that back up here. So this is where we're going to end up in the long term, right? That's where the next consolidation level is going to be before we go to 54,000. So, all things being considered, we're witnessing a small sort of reversal off of what was a sell-off. And here's the other thing, and the final thing in closing that I want to say is we just witnessed a reversal of sentiment in the European Union. And the reason for that is because they have the framework in place of legislation. So the framework of legislation being in place means that there is clarity in crypto in the European markets. And that means that we might have the dawn of another leg up. And it's early. We have to see what the European Union, how it reacts, because they didn't get a whole lot of time to react before the markets closed. But there is some framework in place now for the European Union, and that would be very, very cool. Now, I'm not going to say I'm way better than BitBoy, but here's what I will say. You might see me around the blockchain one day, and it might be sooner than you think. But right now, BitBoy's on vacation. I will tell you guys that I did have a conversation with him. I did have a conversation with him, and maybe, just maybe, we can, maybe I'll pop up on his channel. I'm not sure yet. Early. I'm not sure if he has the interest. I'm not sure if I generate that kind of interest, but I did look around, and I do think so. So we'll find out pretty soon. But anyway, this is not financial advice. My name is Bleeves. I am always right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate each and every one of you that you take the time in your day when you could be doing so many other things, so many better things than listen to a guy arguing about why he snickers at the word bone. God damn it. Guys, make sure that you load up on bone because it's going to have a reversal. And don't get boned. You know what I mean? Like, I just can't stop myself at this point. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. See a psychologist. Jesus. Anyway, guys, just be very careful in your trading. Obviously, $500,000 from a whale losing on Volt. That is a big deal. Don't let that happen to you. Be very careful. Make sure, sign up for NordVPN. Get the first 90 days free. Look, if it doesn't help you, if it doesn't work, cancel at any time. That's okay. But you know what I mean? Let's do that. And Ace, I do have some more hats that I'm going to be giving away. So those will be, right now I'm out of town. So that's, I'm a little bit stuck at the moment. I'm out of town. I'll be gone until, I'll be doing Monday's show. I won't be doing an evening show. I'll be doing a Monday morning show. And message of the day, don't get boned. There we go. All right, guys. I will talk to you guys very soon. You guys be safe. Take care. And here's the outro.
Check. Whoa, another shot of the bullet. Loaded, got complex, cocking and pulling. That bottleneck look like the Loch Ness. What are we doing? I'm about to fall out, boy, and the proof's in the pudding. So, can we forget about the things I said when I was drunk? I ain't mean to call you that. I'm ice cold.